big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. Today's show is all about music and automobiles. Hyundai Motors, in collaboration with Universal Music Group, has launched a platform called Hyundai Spotlight. Hyundai Spotlight is a platform for budding artists across India to showcase their talent. The collaboration is announced with the release of the first song, Hyundai Sitare, featuring renowned singers such as Astha Gill and King Rocco. The platform in its first year will feature 6 original songs with multiple surround content, which will be programmed to represent different regions and languages across the country. Well, the question is, why has Hyundai taken the music route and what does it hope to achieve in terms of brand saliency and on-ground sales? And what's in it for UMG? Well, joining me today is Tarun Garg, Director, Sales and Marketing, Hyundai Motor India, and Devraj, Sanyal, Managing Director and CEO, Universal Music Group, India and South Asia, to talk about just this. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Truly a pleasure having you on Brand Equity.
Thanks, Sonali.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonali.
Okay, so let me take it to you first, Tarun, as the property has been called Hyundai Spotlight. Why have you chosen music as a platform and making a property like this to ensure brand recall and brand efficacy on the ground? Why do you think it will work, and what was the trigger?
As you know, we are in our 25th year of operations in India as far as Hyundai is concerned, and what we have seen is that majority of our customers are now Gen MZ customers, and for whom actually what we find is that music resonates very well, because music is a language which everybody understands. And India being a country, of so many variations and so many languages, but music actually unites us as a country. And when I see Hyundai, whether it's our global vision of progress for humanity or our own brand enhancement beyond mobility, the whole objective was to really enable, coming out of some talent, to find some talent which exists in India in the field of music, irrespective of genre, irrespective of language, and just provide them with a platform, so that, we can really kind of give them that platform to make them reach, millions of people in India. I think that is what the whole objective of this program is. And we believe that Universal Music India probably is the right kind of a partnership along with Hyundai Motor India, because nobody better than them who knows music and who can really provide us, this kind of platform where we can resonate with the youth of the country and really take our brand forward. So that is what the association is all about. And we at Hyundai are very excited. And of course, going forward, you will see that what kind of values together we can really bring to the program.
So I understand that it's a noble endeavor in terms of you getting, budding artists and giving them a platform, and a voice to hit the entire country. But take it back to me in terms of the Hyundai brand and what you're hoping to do with this association, what you're hoping it does for the brand. And I understand that you're looking to target the younger TG, and hence you're looking to connect with them in a deeper manner. But how do you see this progress in terms of actual efficacy on ground?
I think this is a very important and relevant thing, because if you see, like I said, whether it is about our global vision of progress for humanity, or whether it is about our own HMI's, brand program called Beyond Mobility, we really want to take the game up away from only products and services. And music is one genre where we feel that the customer of Hyundai is now majority in the generation MZ. And our study suggests that majority of these customers, they use music not only as a stress buster, but they see music as something which really resonates with their lifestyle. They really get very much, engaged with the music. So this is one way to really connect with them at a much deeper level. And that is where the whole program is all about. And even when you see the pillars of Beyond Mobility, whether it is sustainability, whether it is innovation, I believe that this association will really bring in those elements, because this young budding talent which exists in India, I'm sure they will be able to really innovate, bring something very new and fresh to to the table, which will really, really excite, so many music lovers in the country. And in terms of sustainability, I believe it's a huge social cause as well, because we are really providing that talent to really come forward. So I think this at a deeper level, this really helps us to connect with the people. So I think it's a very, very normal, next step for us in terms of really resonating with the youth of the country and really bringing in some very exciting, music to them, which will really take our brand much more connected to them. Because what we see is that these millennials are looking for something much beyond product only. They want to be associated with a brand which can really, really connect with them at a much, much deeper level.
Okay, interesting. Devraj, on to you. Why would you think a partnership with Hyundai would be, a good partnership? You could have done this all by yourself, and you didn't need an automobile company to do this. So, what is your trigger?
So I'll tell you, when we bought this idea to Hyundai several months ago, the first thing you have to understand is we're a country addled by Bollywood music for the longest time. You have an actor singing, you have somebody else singing at the back. You have Hrithik standing, you have Arijit at the back. I mean, we've grown up, I'm old enough, Sonali, not you, where we come from the generation of Adnan Sami and people like that, back in the day where the artist was the centrifuge of the music, and then came 20 years of film music. It's now in the recent past where artist-driven music, similar to any of our global brands outside, Universal outside, or any of the global majors, where the artist music, artist face, artist resonate, everything around the artist is what the product of music is. India is now beginning to sort of be in that world. And the truth of the matter is that we do that for a huge bunch of artists. I mean, some of our biggest artists, like whether it's Badshah, and I can give you a whole bunch of names, it's very easy because these guys have been around, they've got big networks, they've got great hit songs. But the truth of the matter is, someone in India, the talent quotient is extremely high. The fact that a complete unknown, irrespective of genre, language, whatever, can become very large is the reality. I mean, we are one country primed for that kind of thing because our culture is super rich, our heritage is super strong, our lineage is fantastic. Now, the fact is, for me to do this on my own and spend a bunch of money, resources, ability, network, the chances of success are only going to be bound by how much I can do. Things like this naturally need a partner who've got the things that you don't have. What do I have? I have innate capability of creating the best music, finding the talent, giving them the best resources to make the best quality sound, the best quality audiovisual, because in India, people watch music. They don't listen to music. They watch music first, and then they listen to music. Beyond that, taking a song and sampling it to millions and millions and millions and millions of people, you need to have a network partner who's got hundreds of millions of people within their own network. So the first question to you, the answer to your question is that why a partner? Is somebody who has physical ability to sample great music, without which budding talent will never emerge, is the first reason. B, you need a brand, and we have a very strong brands and music program the world over. We work with virtually every major brand on the planet, including Hyundai we work with. You need a brand whose desire, brand architecture, brand ability, what they're thinking of, sort of is not at cross purposes with yourself, but is basically the same thing. We need and love youth the same way Hyundai does. Our ability and belief on talent and this whole generation next is, our beliefs are equally strong as Tarun and Team Hyundai is at Universal. We have exactly the same thing. So when these two partners come together, the easy answer is that we will be able to do a lot more than if we just did it ourselves. Because we've got 7 labels who do just this day and night. But when it comes to young talent, I may not have physical networks or digital networks large enough in the north of the country or the south of the country the way my partner has. So the idea is that 1 + 1 = 400. And we truly believe that for budding talent to really explode, our global chairman and my exalted boss, Solution Range, says this often. He is the believer of budding, emerging music more than anyone else on the planet. And he's told us a bunch of times that the next hit, the next artist could virtually come from anywhere. And I know when he says that, he means it could come from Mizoram, it could come from Kottayam, it could come from Tiruchirappalli, it could come anywhere. But the point is that how is it going to come from any of these places in our country or in other countries if someone doesn't find and do something with them? If I do this alone, chances are that it will always be limited. And the truth of the matter, Sonali, is that labels have become a bit, obstinate about Instagram following, how did your last song do? And that has become the new benchmark for finding talent. And we really wanted to crush that, call it patriarchy, matriarchy, whatever the hell it is. We want to crush that and say that, look, man, anyone who is talented should have a shot. Why should we deny great talent and opportunity to succeed? The easy answer is singular people can't do it. It needs a bunch of people to come together. It's not only Hyundai and us. It's our agencies. It's our allied agencies. It's our platform partners. It's the streaming platform. Everyone saying, boss, we believe that talent needs an outlet. And we believe that this talent, because of Universal's, sharp eye, is possible for it to become much bigger than it currently is. Let's everyone come to the party and create something people haven't seen before. That is why Spotlight was born.
So Tarun and Devraj, would you say this is similar to an exercise that Coke did a few years ago with Coke Studio? Would you say Hyundai Spotlight is a similar attempt?
No. Coke Studio was a great showcase of fusion and earthy music that was showcased at that point in time, because again, the same film problem of everything was film music, other music needed to be explored. And this is, going back 10 years. They just wanted other forms of music to be formed. So Coca-Cola Pakistan did the first one, and then here Coca-Cola India and MTV came together to create this incredible program. It was never about finding new talent. It was never about giving emerging talent a platform. Yes, during Coke Studio, during many of the seasons, the odd one or two great talent would have come. In Spotlight, everything is about young, new, emerging talent who really has, I hope that the next 2 or 3 that, email us their hundreds of songs, I hope they don't even have an Instagram account. I want to break this myth that you have to be socially relevant, you have to have 3 hit songs, or you have to have a godfather in the industry for you to succeed. We hope together, Tarun and I can defeat that logic that eventually it's only about talent. It is not about anything else.
Tarun, would you say that there is some kind of consumer insight that you have actually pondered upon, where you have found that the association of music, with the brand actually resonates a lot better and is a lot more effective in terms of top of mind recall and a deep connection?
Yeah, I think that's very relevant, Sonali. So we did a research, and what we found is that 84% of the Gen Z and millennials, they believe that music offers a gateway to other cultures. So that's a very, very important statistic. 76% of them, compared to 68% globally, said they use audio to cope up with stress and anxiety. So that is the second big insight, which we saw. And of course, 74% Indians said that sound is at the forefront of humanizing technology. So I think these are 3 very great insights, which really, kind of made us think that, yes, probably this is something which we need to do. And then when, under the, like I said, when we were coming up with this concept of beyond mobility, we believe that, yes, we need to do something which is actually beyond mobility, which is something which will really bring people together, which will really give a platform to people who really need it, rather than really only associating with some of the established things, which is what normally we end up doing. So I think that is what makes this program very different. And that is what will really, it's also a challenge, like Devraj mentioned, because we are really looking at something very raw probably, but to really make something raw succeed and rock is something which we have really taken out to do, the task which we will. And I think once it's accomplished, it's really going to give us a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, actually, at Universal Music, we do the same thing. Our brand's business is about making music for brands. So you plug the brand visual. It's exactly what Hyundai does with marketing money otherwise. For the first time in a long time, Team Hyundai and Team Universal actually came together, and we made this as part of our building mandate, right? That let's just make great music. Let's just give great artists a real chance. And let's not talk about anything else. Let's not talk about the power of Universal Music. It's assumed. Let's not talk about the power of the network of Hyundai. We know. Let's just make great music, and let's be in the neighborhood and see whether the love that we get in the neighborhood, enabling it truly and powerfully and passionately, does that rub off? Sometimes, is it greater than the obvious plug and play method that we're used to? I have a feeling we may be onto something.
Sure. Fair enough. Nuanced marketing and not shouting, at your face
Yes.
might actually be advantageous, I would think. Having said that, a business question for you, Tarun. In your current portfolio of the number of cars that you have, what would be the split in terms of the demographics? Like how much of the youth currently, would you say is spending and buying, your entire portfolio of products?
Before I come to these numbers, let me share with you something very interesting.
Sure.
One is that in the last 4 years, from 41 odd, we are now too close to 37. But this is an average age. You please understand this. This is very, very important, because if you see our portfolio, we are actually going up because, we are moving into more SUVs. We are moving into the premium segment. So naturally, you would think that it would be because, people tend to earn more money when they age more. But then it is still, despite that change in portfolio, the average age is coming down. That is the first point. The second very important point is that the highest percentage is now, people between the age of 25 and 35. That is the biggest chunk. So we, say more than 35 to 40, more 40 to 50, more than 50. But the biggest chunk is now 25 to 35, which used to be earlier 35 to 40. So very clearly, we can see that the Gen MZ is the ones which are really making, contributing the most. That is the first point. The second point, which is even more important, is these are the actual buyers. But we believe that these are also influencing, the other buyers as well. Not only in their family, because they are becoming much more important in their family, but also these are the people everybody wants to really follow. Because you may be aged, you may not be so young, but you want to be young at heart, and you want to really follow these because these are the people who are drivers of culture. These are drivers of imagery, and these are the people whom all of us want to resonate with. So I believe these are becoming very, very important, and I very strongly feel that this association with music is really going to help us, even further associating with them at a much more deeper level and at a much more emotional level. Because at the end of the day, we want to really give some quality time to the customers. That is what our belief is. Because what we have seen is that beyond your home and office, car is now the third space, for any customer. And we want to really make sure that what all we can do to because everybody has 24 hours in a day. But can you really make those 24 hours count? Can you really add quality to that time is our endeavor. And all our activities are kind of aligned to make that happen.
So can I then assume that with this initiative that you've launched, we will now hear a slew of launches coming from the Hyundai stable?
So frankly, if you see last 2 years, we have launched more than 10 products, and all of us know that these were COVID times when questions were being asked that, are you deferring your investments? Are you deferring your launches? Is it the right time? But I believe that on that front, Hyundai has been at the leadership. Not only have we launched SUVs, today SUVs have become 37% of the auto industry, and Hyundai, it is more than 50% now. But not only SUVs, we have launched sedans in terms of Verna, Aura. We have launched the hatchback, premium hatchback in terms of i20. We launched the 6 and 7-seater Alcazar. And not only the product, Sonali, I think what makes us proud of ourselves is that we have been able to really give some great features in our products, whether it is in terms of technology, whether it is in terms of DCT, 5 different automatics which we give, or frankly, as simple as the sunroof, which now contributes 30% to our sales. So on the technology front, on the products front, I think we have done our bit and will continue to really introduce some exciting products in the market.
Tough of a challenges is going to be, Devraj, in terms of actually spotting raw talent, getting them on board, getting them to perform, all of that. How tough of a challenge is this to this pan India?
Let me just say it's not easy. This is what we do for a living. Like Tarun rolls out cars, we roll out talent. It needs the same building blocks, the same to make a ventilated seat. There needs to be code and technology. For us, it needs raw talent. Quality is paramount, but I do believe that if a young kid sitting in Canada can become Justin Bieber, a young boy from Chandigarh can become a Badshah, and a young kid from the gullies of Mumbai can become a divine, there is no reason that the next 20 of them can come. And I'm hoping that we will actually, not just because of brand semantics, actually help a few of them along the way, because it's time. It's time. It's time for us. It's time for India. And I'll tell you this, as being a global major in a country and a region like ours, everyone now talks about our talent going outside. The ones who've made it will be the first ones in the line to go outside. But the supply chain at the back is still a little weak, in my opinion. And that needs to be fortified and strengthened really fast, really hard. Even the number, for example, normally as Universal go, we'd find like 20 people and run them and do stuff. In fact, this is something Hyundai and we decided very sort of consciously to say, let's do fewer, let's do them better. Let's do fewer, let's make them bigger. Let's concentrate much more on quality than quantity and really go the full Monty and the last mile in making sure that even the most unknown kid from Jharkhand or some unknown girl from Mizoram or wherever the hell it is the best global version of themselves that they could ever be. And I think a lot of effort from our machinery is going to go into making that a real reality.
Last question before I let you go, and Tarun, this is for you. Interestingly, the Motan had a pretty bad innings the last festive season, which was not expected given that the fears of COVID were kind of, sizzling down. People were getting more confidence and people were out and about. Why do you think, the festive season didn't, ring as much as the industry would have desired? What went wrong? Because Omicron was then not a reality.
Frankly speaking, demand, as if I see the demand, customer demand, it is back to pre-COVID levels. So there is no shortage of customers wanting cars because this whole COVID thing, in fact, has, shifted the customer preference to personal mobility. And so that is not an issue. As you know, last few months, all of us in India and globally, we have been grappling with the supply situation as far as lead components is concerned. And that is what, is what finally translated to retails. Because if you see at the inquiry level, there was a very healthy double-digit growth when you see festival of this year, even versus 2019. Forget 2020, which was a COVID year. So that way, the demand continued to be very strong. But it was more because we had no, limited supplies, all of us, and that is where the waiting periods went up. And the deliveries continue now post-COVID. Because normally what happens is that, people wait for the festival and then there's a lull after that. But this year, what is happening is because the entire demand could not be fulfilled. So the customer demand continues post-festival into November and December. We hope that we're all working very hard to make sure that we get over the semiconductor situation as quickly as possible. And then going forward with the COVID, scenario improving as well, the pace of vaccination. Of course, the new variant really has put a spanner in the wheel, but still we are hopeful that the demand will continue. And once the supply situation normalizes, then you will see the growth curve back as far as auto industry is concerned.
Fair enough. On that note, thank you, both of you. All the very best for Hyundai Spotlight. Hopefully for Hyundai, it will have, achieved its connection with the youth of the country. And of course, as a joint venture with UMG, we'll see a lot of raw talent come to the fore, and India will be a bunch of a lot more talented musicians of people who are, from the back and beyond of the country. Thank you so much.